Have you ever heard a story that sends a shiver down your spine, but also warms your heart at the same time? Today, I have one of those for you. It's a tale from a small, snow-covered town, a place where winters are long and the frost bites deep, the kind of place where legends are whispered over hot mugs of cocoa, and the line between this world and the next feels just a little bit thinner. This story is about a cemetery, a promise, and a grave that refused to grow cold. Picture this. It's the dead of winter in a town nestled deep in the mountains. Snow blankets everything in a pristine, silent layer of white. The air is so cold it stings your lungs with every breath. In this town, there's an old cemetery on a hill overlooking the valley. It's a peaceful, somber place where generations of townsfolk rest under weathered headstones. During winter, the entire cemetery freezes over. The ground is as hard as iron, and a thick layer of frost glitters on every surface, making it look like a kingdom of ice. The wind whispers through the bare branches of ancient oak trees, the only sound in the profound silence. For years, this was the way of things. Winter would come, the cemetery would freeze, and life would go on. But one year, something changed. It started with a whisper, a rumor that spread through the town like wildfire. A group of teenagers, daring each other on a cold night, had stumbled upon something impossible. They had been wandering through the frozen graveyard, their boots crunching on the icy snow, when one of them tripped and fell against a particular headstone. As he pushed himself up, his bare hand brushed against the stone, and he recoiled, not from the cold, but from an unexpected warmth. He told his friends, who of course laughed it off. Warmth? In the middle of a frozen cemetery? It had to be a prank, or maybe the cold was playing tricks on his mind. But curiosity got the better of them. One by one, they reached out and touched the grave, and each one felt it. While every other stone, every patch of ground, every metal fence was coated in a frigid layer of frost, this one grave was inexplicably, impossibly warm. Not hot, but a gentle, living warmth, like a hand held out from a cozy fireplace. The ground around it was soft. The snow melted in a perfect circle, revealing the dark, rich earth beneath. The grave belonged to an old woman named Ilara. She had been the town's librarian for over 50 years. A kind, gentle soul with a twinkle in her eye and a story for every occasion. Ilara loved books, but more than that, she loved people. She knew everyone's name, their favorite authors, their triumphs, and their heartbreaks. Her library wasn't just a building full of books, it was the heart of the community, a warm and welcoming haven for everyone. She had passed away peacefully the previous spring, and the entire town had mourned her. The news of the warm grave spread quickly. At first, people were skeptical. They came up with logical explanations. A geothermal vent, a chemical reaction in the soil, some sort of electrical anomaly. Scientists and geologists were even called in from a nearby city. They brought their fancy equipment, took soil samples, and ran tests. They scanned the ground for heat signatures and measured temperatures, but they found nothing. No vents, no chemicals, no electricity. The warmth was localized to Ilara's grave and a small patch of ground around it, and there was absolutely no scientific reason for it. As the scientific explanations dwindled, the townspeople started to turn to their own stories, to the memories they had of Ilara. And that's when the real heart of the mystery began to unfold. They remembered Ilara not just as a librarian, but as a keeper of promises. She had a unique gift. If you told her a secret or a heartfelt message you were too afraid to say, she would hold it for you. A message is a bird, she used to say. It needs to fly to the right person at the right time. I'll keep it safe until it's ready to take flight. People would confide in her their unspoken loves, their deepest regrets, their words of forgiveness they couldn't yet utter. And Ilara, with her calm and reassuring smile, would nod and say, "I'll hold on to it for you. Don't you worry." She never wrote them down. She just remembered. She carried the weight of the town's unspoken words in her heart. A young man named Leo heard the stories of the warm grave and felt a pull he couldn't ignore. Years ago, he had a terrible argument with his father. Harsh words were exchanged, and a deep rift formed between them. Pride kept them apart. Leo had moved away, and while he always meant to call, to apologize, to bridge that gap, he never did. Then his father passed away suddenly. Leo was consumed by guilt and regret. The last words he had spoken to his father were words of anger. Shortly before his father's death, Leo had visited his hometown and, in a moment of desperation, had confided in Alara. He told her everything: the fight, the regret, the love for his father that was buried under years of stubborn pride. He told her all the things he wished he could say to his dad. "I love you. I'm sorry. I miss you." Alara had listened patiently, her kind eyes full of understanding, and she had made him her usual promise. "I'll hold on to it for you, Leo. It'll find its way when the time is right." Now, standing in the cold, Leo remembered that promise. Driven by a feeling he couldn't explain, he made his way up the hill to the cemetery. He found the crowd gathered around Alara's grave, their breath misting in the frigid air. He pushed his way through, his heart pounding. He saw the snowless patch of earth, the headstone free of frost. He hesitated for a moment, then knelt and placed his hand on the grave. The warmth was real. It seeped into his cold fingers, a gentle, pulsing energy that felt alive. It felt like comfort. It felt like forgiveness. And as he knelt there, with his hand on the warm earth, the words he had told Alara all those years ago came flooding back into his mind, clear as day. "I love you, Dad. I'm sorry." In that moment, surrounded by the silence of the frozen cemetery, Leo felt a profound sense of peace wash over him. The heavy burden of guilt he had carried for so long finally began to lift. It was as if the message, held safely by Alara all this time, had finally been delivered. Leo wasn't the only one. Others came forward with similar stories. A woman who had never told her sister how much she meant to her before she moved across the country. A man who regretted not thanking a teacher who had changed his life. One by one, they came to Alara's grave. They would touch the warm stone, and in the quiet of their own hearts, they would feel a sense of closure, a message delivered, a promise fulfilled. The grave wasn't just warm. It was a conduit for love, for forgiveness, for all the words left unsaid. It was Alara, even after she was gone, still taking care of her town, still delivering their most important messages. The warmth, they say, lasted the entire winter. It was a small, persistent miracle in the heart of the biting cold. And when the spring thaw finally came and the rest of the cemetery began to soften, the warmth of Alara's grave slowly faded, blending in with the returning life of the season. The snow melted, the grass grew green, and the flowers bloomed. Her work was done. The messages had been delivered. The grave never warmed like that again. But the story lives on. It became a legend in that small town, a reminder that some bonds are stronger than frost, and that love and kindness can create a warmth that even death cannot extinguish. It reminds us that it's never too late to say what's in our hearts, and that sometimes the most important messages are the ones that are finally set free. Thank you so much for joining me for this story today. If it touched your heart, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel for more tales that explore the mysteries that surround us. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever heard a story like this? Until next time, take care and hold your loved ones close.